Now, AT&T's merger with Time Warner is being described as an indicator of a new future for media, one where companies that marry distribution with content come out on top. In a deal worth $85.4 billion, the telecommunications giant believes combining powers with the company responsible for Game of Thrones and CNN will help them keep their position as America's biggest pay TV provider. But one of the largest media mergers in years could yet face significant regulatory challenges, as Andre-Pierre du Plessis reports.
It's a tough time to be a media company. Consumers have more options than ever before, and people in the US are turning away from expensive pay TV services, instead opting to subscribe to easy-to-use services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. After acquiring DirecTV last year, AT&T is now the largest pay TV operator in the US. The company is also America's second biggest wireless carrier, and it believes simply distributing television isn't enough.
It's time! It's time!
AT&T also wants to own award-winning content like Game of Thrones.
With the Uverse app.
As the parent company of HBO, Time Warner is one of Hollywood's most storied studios that also owns valuable cable channels like CNN and Cartoon Network.
The combination of Time Warner and AT&T creates a unique company that will lead the next wave of innovation in how people enjoy video entertainment. Our goal is to give customers unmatched choice, quality, value, and experiences that will define the future of media and communications.
The combined companies are working on something to rival Netflix that would offer live TV. As Netflix has had great success globally, it is also considering making HBO available as a subscription service across the world.
Streaming service HBO Now.
But the deal could not have come at a worse time. With less than 3 weeks to the US presidential elections, candidates are already using the deal for political fodder.
AT&T is buying Time Warner and thus CNN, a deal we will not approve in my administration because it's too much concentration of power in the hands of too few.
Those opposed to the merger argue that AT&T will now own some of the best video content there is and will deny that content to rivals on other pay TV and video-on-demand services, something that would be the focus of regulators who are yet to approve the deal.
Take it with you. Watch all your live channels on your devices data-free.
For now, AT&T's bet is that whatever the future of media is, it involves video content. The question for everyone else is whether Time Warner is their best partner.
Well, AP is in here at the studio with us now for more on this story. AP, let's look at this from a business angle primarily. What about the deal makes sense, do you think, for AT&T?
I think in light of the fact that their largest rival in the US in terms of the wireless space, Verizon, recently acquired Yahoo, right? And we've reported a lot on that. So clearly, when it comes to wireless service, when it comes to cell phone providers in the US, these companies, the growth is starting to wane, and they're looking for new avenues of revenue. Now, clearly, they're following Verizon's example, where Verizon bought Yahoo primarily because they know content that you and I consume is key in staying afloat. And so this is exactly the same thing that AT&T has done. They have made various other content licensing deals with Time Warner in the past, and they now realize this is where everything needs to go. So they see themselves as the pipeline where Time Warner is the provider. They're the wholesale media company making all these wonderful content. A lot of people are calling this the jewel of entertainment right now, and everyone is pretty jealous of AT&T.
I'm sure. And as far as the companies are concerned, we do talk about cable companies as if that's a self-evident term, but for everybody else in the world, that doesn't actually have a meaningful significance behind it. So how could this potentially affect us, those of us that aren't living in America?
Exactly. So AT&T is playing still in a very old space. This is a giant company that used to begin the whole telephone revolution in the US. Now, cable is as you point out, is a very US-centric technology for Americans to watch TV. But in the rest of the world, we're watching Netflix. And so AT&T has acknowledged that, and Time Warner, in agreeing to this merger, that they need to up their game. They need to be far more like Netflix, and that's why they're following this route.
And just quickly at the end, how likely do you see this deal going through? As obviously there will be a lot of opposition from the likes of Disney.
Exactly, and I think there's a lot of anti-corporate sentiment right now. If you look at what Donald Trump said, and Hillary Clinton's been exactly the same. So they are facing an uphill battle, and it's going to take at least a year for regulators to go through all the details. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right, we will wait and see. AP, thank you very much for that.